Word number 3. Woman, behold your son, behold your mother. In relating the Jewish scriptures to the crucifixion, one favorite source, for obvious reasons, is the book of Lamentations. A quick look at the text and knowing its context, that is, mourning for the destruction of the temple and of the city of Jerusalem, tells us why this is the case. The text of Lamentations formed a part of the old service of Tenebrae, of which our 7 last words is a form. One passage made popular by Handel in his setting of it in Messiah is, "Come, all you who pass by the way, look and see whether there is any suffering like my suffering, which has been dealt me when the Lord afflicted me on the day of his blazing wrath." Handel's setting goes something like this. Behold and see, behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow. Behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow. Behold and see, if there be any sorrow like unto my sorrow. Hearing these words makes it clear why the compiler of Handel's text, the Reverend Charles Jennens, thought these words were fitting. What sorrow could possibly compare with that of Jesus' agony on the cross? This word today now, number 3, gives an answer. Beyond the physical sufferings of Jesus, this word compels us to consider the spiritual agony of Jesus seeing his mother at the foot of the cross, and her agony seeing her son dying upon the cross. The same address he gave her at Cana when his hour had not yet come was the address with which he spoke to her now that his hour was being completed. The beloved disciple stands there for all of us, held in the middle by the great love of mother for son and son for mother, drawing us and all things to himself now that he is lifted up, as he said in John's Gospel, chapter 12. Would the mother of any convicted criminal in the process of being executed watch with any less sorrow? The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, Psalm 34 tells us. What was in the heart of the beloved disciple, or in that of Mary, after the hasty burial and blocking off of the sepulchre with the stone? Where did they go? How long did they cry? Did they ever get to sleep that night? T.S. Eliot expressed it like this in 4 quartets. The dripping blood our only drink, the bloody flesh our only food, in spite of which we like to think that we are sound, substantial flesh and blood. Again, in spite of that, we call this Friday good. Later on Good Friday evening, we celebrate the Liturgy of the Lord's Passion. Let us remember what we are doing, what it ultimately cost to enable us to do this celebrating, and why this Friday is good, even when a woman must behold her son, perhaps as Eve did with Abel and as Mary did with Jesus. Word 4. My God, why have you forsaken me? This dark word is recorded only in Mark and Matthew. It is a cry of desolation that has challenged centuries of Christians who think of the incarnation only as God's visitation of his creation, not his full entering into it. What is the problem? Well, if Jesus is the Son of God, surely it is impossible for him truly to despair. Yes, but if he is truly human, does he not need to experience every human dimension of life except for sin? The letter to the Hebrews, which we hear on Good Friday, tells us, therefore, since we have a great high priest who has passed through the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast to our confession. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who has similarly been tested in every way, yet without sin. So, let us confidently approach the throne of grace to receive mercy and help in time of need. Jesus knew the dark night that so many of the greatest saints experienced, from St. Teresa of Avila and St. John of the Cross in the 16th century, through to Blessed Mother Teresa of Calcutta in our times at the end of the 20th century. St. Teresa's anecdote is worth recalling. In a time of great suffering and darkness, she heard the word which said to her, "This is how I treat all those who are my friends." To which she replied, "Well then, Lord, it is no wonder you have so few of them." As dark as this word is, it is after all a quote from the beginning of Psalm 22, which ends in the triumphant cry, "I will proclaim your name to my brethren. In the midst of the assembly I will praise you, for God has not spurned nor disdained